Danny Flexer here for Seconds Out with Eddie Hearn. We're here at the press conference for Big Show on October 27th at the Copper Box. Got Ted Cheeseman in what we thought was the main event, but then we found out on the way here this morning that John Ryder will be in the final eliminator for the WBA title. So first of all, presumably that's for the WBA title held by Rocky Fielding.
The other one.
Oh, for the Super title?
Yeah.
Okay, so we could see Ryder against the winner of the World Boxing Super Series.
Correct, if he beats Sorokin. It's a very tough fight. I mean, obviously, not a lot of people know about Sorokin. We do. He's a very talented Russian, undefeated, and obviously they've got the same ambitions. There hasn't been a mandatory for George Groves since he won the title against the other Russian, Chudanov, on the Kell Brook card. So it's due, and these are the two guys who are going to challenge for that right. And then hopefully Johnny Ryder can come through. It's been a remarkable turnaround. Coming from the Armfield and the Fielding losses, two fights that could have gone either way, to come back, with the Nielsen knockout and also with the Jamie Cox stoppage. If he beats Sorokin, he fully deserves a shot at that world title.
And this gives you yet another reason to hope that your man Callum Smith defeats George Groves in the WBSS final, because it'll be an easier fight to make between him and Ryder if Ryder comes through.
Yeah, I mean, look, no fight's easy, and maybe there's a unification that slows things down. Anything could happen in the sport of boxing. You've got Rocky Fielding as well. Could be Rocky Fielding against John Ryder, mate. If those guys come out, at that level, they're not boxing that frequently. So the winner of that September fight, 28th, probably won't box till February or March. So, Ryder could jump in against Fielding. Anything could happen, but this is a must-win fight for John Ryder for sure.
Before we talk about Cheeseman Biofield, there were rumours that the rematch between Ryan Walsh and Isaac Lowe was going to take place on this show. Obviously, that's not happening now. Can you just tell us when you're planning to put that one on?
Yeah, I've changed the date to November the 10th, so we'll release news on that shortly. So it was just that there was all these fights to take care of. Obviously, I don't represent Walsh and Lowe, but I like the fight and I want to put it on. So I agreed that with Steve Wood, and we look now to put that on in Manchester.
Brilliant. And what will that be on the undercard of November 10th?
Possibly Usyk Bellew.
Wow. How close is that, just while we're talking about it?
It's pretty close, right, Felix? Yeah, it's there's still issues to sort out with the governing bodies, but the main thing is that both fighters are in a position where if we can get everything sorted, I think we're a goer. But things still have to be sorted, so it's close. Is it imminent? Anything could happen. I could receive calls this afternoon, which mean it's done, but.
That'll be just our luck, yeah.
Quite possibly, but I don't think you're not going to get an announcement today, for example. So it's, it's getting there.
Does the fact that Ryder Sorokin has been named the WBA Eliminator show that you've still got a profitable, favourable relationship with the WBA?
I've got a profitable, favourable relationship with every governing body because we pay our sanction fees on time. We do a lot of business with them. We have a lot of good fighters in their rankings and their governing bodies. We have a lot of world champions with the WBA, with the IBF, with the WBO, with everybody. The WBA, I just felt that Ryder, he's in that position with the WBA where he's due to be in a final eliminator. It's not like we've pulled a favour from somewhere. There hasn't been a mandatory for 3 fights, so it's time. And Ryder's, through the Nielsen win mainly, got himself in that position. Obviously the Cox win just solidified that.
Let's talk about Cheeseman Biofield. It's a very intriguing fight, great trade fight, great bill as a whole, to be fair. Why do you think it's the right time for this fight, but for Cheeseman particularly?
Well, it probably isn't. In an ideal world, he probably wants, he doesn't want, but the team would want 1 or 2 more. We just live in a sport now where that don't happen anymore, and you're either good enough or you're not. So from a sort of selfish level, if he can't beat Biofield, perhaps he's not the guy to go on, win European titles and challenge for world titles. Maybe he will in time, but everything has to happen quickly now in boxing. And that's not my decision, that's just the decision of the voice of the fans. They don't want Ted Cheeseman to have another 2 10-rounders. They want him to fight Biofield now. And it's one of the trade fights of the year. People talk about, a lot of people, like the response from this card has been incredible, right? But it is quite a tradey card, if that makes sense.
Yes, no, it is.
So it's not going to break viewing figures on TV. It'll be a great crowd because they're all extremely popular fighters. And the hardcore boxing community will be queuing up for tickets for this fight. But we have to mix that up with in the game because we do our big shows and we always get criticised for it's a show for the casuals and stuff like that, but generally they're not if you analyse them. But this is exactly the opposite. It's quite refreshing to read social media and everyone's what a card.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe that casual fan might look at it and go, I haven't really heard of these geezers, you know. So, but it's good, you know that from 7 p.m. till 11:30 you've got 5 50-50 fights on TV, pure 50-50 fights, and that's great news for the fan in the arena and for the fan at home watching on Sky and DAZN.